Hey guys, this is Doro Pesch, and you guys know women rock and have so much power, and I'm so glad to be part of this now.
I am the fire, I am burning brighter, I'm roaring like a sun, and I am
The metalheads, the fans, they were always there. They were always very supportive, but like regular people, you know, they said, well, can't you get a real job? That was always what I heard. And I thought, man, I'm doing a real job. I work 10 times more than you do.
I need some hope to keep me alive. I need to take some action.
When I grew up, I think I was about 3 years old, and I always wanted to become a singer. I always wanted to do music, and I had my first band when I was 15, 16, and I grew up in a truck. My dad, he was the truck driver. He was my best friend, and he was a great guy, and you know, he always supported me, and he loved music too. So I think, you know, he was the talented guy in our family. My mom loves music, but my dad, he could really play piano great, sing great, and he had a really tough job. Being a truck driver, it's like, you know, and when you're self-employed, you always work every day, every night. So I really learned, you know, like when I grew up, that you have to work hard, and like, you know, and sometimes when you're tired or exhausted, it doesn't matter, you just have to continue. So when I had my first band, I was like 16. I really had that feeling that, you know, I wanted to do everything because nobody else would do it. I was putting the posters up when we would play somewhere. I was driving. We had a little tour bus, kind of. I was driving. I was still working. I was a graphic artist, so I had to do the gigs and then drive back. And sometimes driving from different countries back to Germany. That's where I'm from. It was tough, and I think for the first 3-4 years, I think I didn't sleep more than 2 hours per night, but I loved it. I could definitely feel my heart is so into it that I really had the feeling I want to do it for the rest of my life. And then I was pretty lucky. I could work in this graphic studio, and I was doing all the posters and the logos and everything for my band, which made me really happy because I had somebody who showed me all the stuff. He was a good person, and he always said, okay, Doro, you can do it, but not in the time you work. You have to come here at 5 o'clock in the morning, do your stuff, or you stay longer. And I said, okay, but I had the opportunity, and then I had many bands, and I never even intended to do a record. It was just like we had so much fun practicing and, you know, and playing. And my first gig, it was actually hardcore. It was with my first band. My first band was called Snakebite, and there was a guy coming into our rehearsal room, and he said, you guys want to play live, like doing a gig? And we never did a gig before. And then we said, so what shall we do? He said, you do exactly the same like you did here in your rehearsal room. We said, okay, let's do it. I think we got $50 for it. So, and which was important, you know, to pay the rent for our rehearsal room. So we did our first gig, and I tell you, it was mayhem, because there were about like 30-40 metalheads there, and there were about 150 punks there. And heavy metal people and punk people back in the day, it was in the early 80s, they didn't get along. So we were playing, and then, you know, the punks, they were fed up with us after 5 songs. They smashed all our gear, you know, and equipment and stuff. And then everything was broken. We thought, wow. And there was one punk, he pointed a gun at me at all times, and he was drunk. He was drunk and very, you know, a mean guy, and he didn't like us, obviously. And then suddenly he passed out on stage, and then our metalheads, our fans, they gave me the gun, and they said, here, Doro, it was loaded the whole time. I thought, oh, wow. And then we finished our gig with like broken equipment. You know, I guess my guitar player had like 2 strings left, but it was our first gig. And I thought, how you do a concert. That's how you do a gig. And I was so glad that I survived. The whole band, they were even younger than me. I think the one guy was 13, one boy was 14, I was 16. So we were so happy that we would survive. And then I thought, okay, I have to make up my mind, I want to do it, but I always have to be ready to fight for life, actually, and, to fight for your band, to fight for your music. And I honestly never thought that I had to fight being a girl or being a woman. I just did what I love. I feel music is above that all. And I think it really doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or transgender. You just have to follow your heart, follow your vision. And if you really love something, you are ready to go full out. And then I had many, many more bands. And then we started our band Warlock. And we were at the right time, in the right place. It was 1983. Our first record came out 84. It was called Burning the Witches. And it was overnight. It was a big, big success. Everybody thought we just started, but we did it already many years in different bands. And then I quit my job when I found out we could tour with my favorite band. It was Judas Priest. Judas Priest and Maiden, they were like the biggest bands in the 80s. They still are the biggest, but in the 80s it was a dream come true, and I was a big Priest fan. And I really must say I could live my dream, but you had to work every day. We practiced every day, we worked every day, Christmas, New Year's Eve, it didn't matter. So I think, like hard work, that's good. And I'm so glad that I grew up in an environment with my dad when he was driving the truck and, schlepping things. And sometimes we were loading steel. And I was a little kid, but I loved like the physical work. And so I think I grew up in a perfect environment for doing metal. And being a girl, I must say, I think it's much harder to fight for your music, for your dream, for staying yourself. And I just did it. And in our band, I think I was just one of the guys. I was just one of the band members. And in the end, I became a band leader. But I went through all the stages, being a roadie, cleaning up after everybody, driving the tour bus, putting posters all over the world. And then finally, I was the only one who always showed up. So that's one of the secrets. You have to show up, and when you love something, it's easy to do. Since there weren't so many ladies in the 80s, my heroes were always like Ronnie James Dio, Lemmy of Motorhead. I loved James Hetfield, Rob Halford, and Blackie Lawless of Wasp. That was my first tour in '86 in England. Oh my God! And all these great metal heroes. And and some other people, like my dad, he was my hero. I learned a lot from him. And ladies, there weren't so many. So when I moved to the States, then I fell in love with Janis Joplin, but I didn't know her before that well. And I would say, they're great women out there. I loved Ann Wilson of Heart, and I was friends with everybody, Lita Ford and Lee Aaron, but that was a little bit later when everything was like, rolling. And before that, I just did what what Rob Halford, Lemmy Dio would do. And we always tried to have our own material. We never did cover songs. It was just like, just doing what you feel, what you love, and then, hoping that everybody in the band would agree, which that is always, tricky, because everybody has a different taste and, or a different background, or wants something else in life. So, it was always tricky to have people who are like, who are totally into it. That's actually, I think that's one, you have to be talented a little bit, maybe, but you have to really want it. You have to want it and always, do it, show up and give it your all. And Actually, there's so many moments. Every gig is a great achievement. Every gig where you feel you can reach people's heart and soul. And the biggest gigs were, of course, like really, wow, they were mind blowing. Like I always love to play Wacken, which is one of the biggest metal festivals. And I always we did our anniversary concerts there with many, many guests, and so many people came to our shows when we did anniversaries. Lemmy came to our shows, and all my heroes. That meant so much to me. So yeah, so the festivals, gigs, but small clubs sometimes. That's like, that's just as much fun. And it takes sometimes one person who gets it, who loves it, who gets something out of it. That's for me like, wow, that's the ultimate. So I can't say there's one particular moment. I loved all, like, the achievements. I got many awards. That was very nice. And the latest one was like an American award, and which was so nice. And it was a Legend Award. And so from all over the world getting some awards, that's great. And when people, think of you, think of you very good, and have good things to say. Oh, that's so nice. But sometimes it can be small things, like if somebody says, "Oh, I liked your show, I liked your song," that's great, yeah. I think there are a few things you gotta follow your dreams. You gotta follow your heart. Nobody can tell you what it is. You really have to find out what is the stuff what makes you happy, to find your style, to always be yourself. And I would say always keep at it. Just work hard, do it every day. Don't ever make a break because it takes you away from from the vision. And and always follow your goal, your dream. Set a goal. If you're not sure what it is, then maybe try out many things, and then you can really feel in your heart and your soul what really, what is you, what makes you happy. And you can feel out in which areas you can be good at. Maybe playing guitar or singing or performing or songwriting or writing lyrics. You will find out. So you have to try out probably, many things, but you will know, what is your thing. And if it's something, unique, then you don't have to worry. It is something what people will pick up on. They will pick up on the energy. I think when you give out lots and lots of pure, good, powerful energy, it's like a magnet. People, they will come, they will, you will find out, it's like what you give out, you get back, and you don't even have to fight for getting a fan base. You just do what you do, and you will see that many people, will come to your gigs or to whatever you do. I know many street musicians as well. It doesn't even have to be like, full band or full show. But when you give out good energy and, and do something what is totally you're unique. There's nobody else like you. And I guess, God made you with certain talents, and, so just use it and go full out and work hard every day. Never ever give up, even when people say it's not worth it. Never give up. Always believe in yourself, and you will succeed. Like, it might take a little while. I think I found out everything takes a little bit longer than expected or than you wish for. There's no overnight success. That really doesn't exist. There's lots and lots of work before, even when when your light is shining, you have to be prepared, and you probably had to go through many ups and downs, but you will definitely succeed if you want it. Find your thing, find your field. If it's not music, maybe it's something else. Maybe it's art or sports or, or in the internet. Many people are so talented with like internet stuff, and yeah. And now I think it's a great time because you can, fully, do what you love and, try it out. It's not anymore my parents' generation. You had to get a job and then you were stuck with it for your life, which that's not anymore the case. You can choose, and of course, it's important to live in a free country. I'm really happy that, you know, that there are no restrictions, and, you know, so. But if you feel that you have, like, you know, like a tough upbringing, and where certain, like, free speech is not allowed, then, you know, you will find a way. You will find a way, and but I think that's one of the things I'm so glad for, because, you know, I always thought America and England was better to you know, to do metal or rock, because, you know, England and America, that was always my dream, to go there and to do stuff. And in Germany, the scene was a little bit smaller. Everybody had an accent, so it was really hard to make it. Like, you had to really work much harder. I think not because you're a girl, but, you know, to overcome other obstacles. But I was really glad that, yeah, nobody said, hey, you can't say that, you can't do it. And still in Germany, there are no restrictions. You can say whatever you want on radio or TV. And so that's one thing. But you will find a way, you know. I guess, you know, when it's harder, then, you know, you just have to be stronger to overcome, you know, whatever barrier it is. But, you know, but you should never give up your dream, and, you know, what you're meant to be, what you're made for. And to me, music was always it. I knew it. I knew it right when, yeah, I think I was 2-3 years old. And I knew that's what I want to do. And of course, many people say, well, you know, like being a musician, you will never have enough, you know, food or money. You want to live under a bridge or what? And I said, yeah, I better live under a bridge, but I do what I love. You have to enjoy it and appreciate it, because when you get there, you know, suddenly you feel, oh, that's what I was working for. And then it's just like, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's one gold record, but you get a gold record and then that's it. And the next day, you know, you think, okay, what shall we do now? So yeah, the process, that's always what is, you know, the thing. And when it makes you happy, then that's good. Just be yourself, follow your heart, follow your dreams. That's, you know, yeah, you can't go wrong.